be lost. This is the reality of nuclear energy. Kaku, famous physician Kaku, says, human civilization may destroy itself. I mean, look at Fukushima. Civilization may destroy itself because of nuclear power plant. Not a coal plant, not the oil plants. Here's another academic study of 220 million atoms per liter of rainwater of just the iodine-131, not including the thousands of actual isotopes that are in their samples of different species. You can see the models. That's the Atlantic, that's the Pacific, North America. The model stops short of showing you the actual. Do you think the plume actually stopped? Do you think that plume just stops like that? That's it. It pulses energy every second forever. That's climate change. On a different scale than what the botanical garden was alluding to. Here's the US government's model of Fukushima radioactive fallout covering the northern hemisphere. Think about the last three words, covering the northern hemisphere. Pulsing energy every second. Covering the northern hemisphere. That's the model there. Let's play the model. And that's only 131 iodine and cesium-137. It doesn't include all the isotopes to the right, which it should. It doesn't include the reactor cores, the fuel pools, and everything else. The invisible cloud covering from the ocean floor to the upper lower troposphere is pulsing energy every second. It's pulsing energy every second. Coal doesn't do that. Gas doesn't do that. That's climate change. And it's been going on for 75 years since the Nagasaki, Hiroshima, the thousands of nuclear tests. And some of the nuclear tests, like Castle Bravo, Ivory Mike, are equal to thousands of Nagasaki bombs. And they produced plumes way worse than that. Hideously worse than that. This was the decline of all the species on the planet. You can actually trace it all the way back to the nuclear. The Taser bomb from Russia was equal to 3,800 Nagasaki bombs. Imagine dropping 3,800 Nagasaki bombs. Imagine it. Imagine it. 3,800 of those bombs. Just because it's all in one doesn't mean it's any less. That started the chain reaction of the death of the species on the planet. Fukushima, as you're seeing there, was the nail in every species' coffin. And we got to listen every day to this climate change, refusing to acknowledge that Fukushima or nuclear plays a part. How dare you? How dare you? How dare you open your pie holes and not include that? How dare you? You cowards. You disgusting cowards. You pathetic cowards. You're actually monsters. You have all the attributes of a monster. You're blaming everybody and trying to destroy everybody when you're not willing to include the actual problem itself. You disgusting cowards. You despicable cowards. You better get it together. We're not going to sit in silence anymore and put up with your lies. Now pick up your shit and get busy, because this is a fucking problem on our planet. You better get your asses in gear. I'm not kidding. Get it in gear. Stop pissing around and get busy and solve the fucking problem. Solve the fucking problem by getting rid of nuclear, and solve it now. Stop shooting your mouth off about carbon and blame something that's causing it. Okay? Because I'm only telling you 500 more times. I'm sick of fucking telling you. You shit for brains, bird brains, dipsticks. Get your acts together. We're running out of time. You arrogant, humorous, pompous pricks. Get it together. You fucking arrogant pricks. You won't include radiation? What are you, stupid? Are you actually stupid? Are you actually that stupid? Nothing like this has been attempted. All of humanity will be threatened for thousands of years. If the rods in Unit 4 pool goes, well, there's the fucking building. It's gone. They're showing you that picture, and you refuse to acknowledge that that's a lie. And you're calling yourselves humans? You're calling yourself educated? You're calling yourself something special? And you're wasting the entire planet's only opportunity to do something. Every day we lose is another nail in our coffins. I'm sick of the lies. I'm sick of it. Here's another model of the radioactive fallout that don't include any of the isotopes to the right. Look at it. It's pulsing energy every fucking second. Look at the model, will you? That's the Pacific. That's North America. That's the Atlantic. That's Europe. You really think that pulsing energy every second is not climate change? Do you really think it's not climate change? Are you actually that stupid you think that's not climate change? Are you actually so stupid that you think carbon and nitrous oxide and CO2 is climate change? You don't think that's climate change? You think all that other stuff is like a little small engine? You shit for brains. You disgusting shit for brains. You useless, disgusting feeders. Listen what they said. All of the molecules that we add, they work as small heating machines. Oksana explains. Look, what are you talking about? They're not like little small engines. Nuclear is like little small engines. That's exactly what they are. I'm so sick of the lies. I'm so sick of you pretending that it doesn't exist. How do you think we're going to come up with a solution if the people with a stage are not going to acknowledge it? How does that work? How do you come up with a solution if you won't even acknowledge it? Look at the model from France. Look at it. It's pulsing energy every second. I can't believe that it's so difficult to wrap your mind around. Radiation levels doubles within 20 days of decontamination by Japanese forces. Here's Arnie Gunnarsson talking about nuclear.
I hired employees that could only stay on the job for 3 minutes before they exceeded their personnel exposure. So you get all suited up and you do all of that, and maybe you can do 3 to 5 minutes worth of work.
What he's talking about is he's talking about killing people. If you go into your coal plant that breaks down for 3 minutes, are you now in trouble? Do you know what in trouble? Because it's pulsing energy every second. You know what he said? Move south of the equator. Get out of the northern hemisphere if reactor 4 fuel pool goes dry. Get out of the hemisphere and move to the southern hemisphere if a reactor goes dry. That's the reactor he's talking about. And where he's positioned up there is where the fuel pools are. They don't even exist, and he made the assemblies for the fuel pools.
The division I ran built nuclear fuel racks for boiling water reactors exactly like Fukushima. And
he built the assemblies that went in those pools, and he don't know they don't exist. He don't know if they exist. And he's saying to people that if it does have an issue, you should move to the south of the equator. You think this is not climate change? Are you really that stupid? Are you really that stupid? Is that actually possible that there's people on the planet that are so stupid that they don't understand that reactor 4 is gone? Is there actually people stupid enough that they can't wrap their mind around this? Move south of the equator if reactor 4 goes. Celebrate physician. Fukushima has humanity, all of humanity, right around the entire world on the brink of a possible worldwide nuclear holocaust. Here's another model from Norwegian Institute of Air Research. This is radioactive fallout from Japan. It's pulsing energy every second, wiping out the species. And all of these academics, all these scientists are busy screeching at us, we're the cause of it. That pop cans and tin and pop bottles and cardboard and tin cans are the issue. Are pulsing energy every second. It's unbelievable. It's unbelievable that there's people left on the planet that are this stupid. And they're only talking about cesium. There's 1,200 radionuclides that we're worried about. There's around 8,000 that are classified by the military. Here's another study. There's a study showing all the humans in California, for instance. Now look at this model of the plume, though. They're only acknowledging California. They're not acknowledging everybody else was breathing this. We're sequestering 360 atoms of sulfur peroxide hydrogen buckyballs in their testicles every day. You really think the insects and the animals, and the mammals and the birds were somehow immune to this? Is there somebody on the planet that's actually willing to acknowledge what I'm saying? Because nobody's actually acknowledged what I'm saying. I mean, the people that follow this narrative, it's not hard to wrap their mind around it, but there's not a single person with any kind of is willing to acknowledge that that even happened. It pulses energy every second. It pulses energy every second. Invisible cloud covering the whole planet, pulsing energy every second, is not in the conversation about global warming. I'm sick of yelling year after year, day after day, week after week, month after month. Year after year I've been doing this. And if I yell, I'm a bad person. If they yell, they're heroes. They care. If I yell, why is he yelling? Why is he yelling? Because you better get it together. There's a study showing it's sequestering in the humans. Do you really think that it's only the sulfur peroxide hydrogen buckyballs from these nuclear meltdowns is not a joke, by the way. It sterilized all the species right away. Inhaling just one hot particle can cause a cancer. Everything that comes from a nuclear meltdown is a hot particle. Everything. There's no harmless isotopes that come out of a nuclear meltdown. And so when you see models showing the whole northern hemisphere covered in radioactive fallout, and you're not willing to include that in the equation, it means you're actually a monster. You're actually stupid, or you're a monster. You're actually an idiot, or you're a monster. You're actually a demon not to include this. You're actually stupid if you're not worried about this. Like, how are we going to come up with solutions if you won't even admit we got a problem and you're busy pointing over there instead of at the problem? How are we going to come up with a solution when you won't acknowledge there's a problem? When you're making up problems, calling molecules like little engines instead of the actual little engines. "44 people on my show, day after day, year after year, and all I can get is 44 people on my show. 500 views on my videos a day if I'm lucky. Because I'm censored. I get a lot more than that, obviously, but I'm censored. Imagine how evil you are to sit there and censor me each day. Imagine how pointless your life actually is when your job is to censor me. Imagine how stupid you actually are when your job is to censor me. Or anybody like me. Imagine what kind of bird brain you got to be to get that job. Hey, we got a good job for you, shit for brains. Censor Dana Durnford. Rain with 20 million particles of iodine-121 per litre. It never all rained out. That's what was in the rain. The rest of it didn't rain out, circling the planet, pulsing energy for thousands of years. So much evidence. I provide so much evidence, and sometimes late tonight I'm upset. I'm frustrated. Which I'm supposed to be. Because we're losing the only opportunity we got on the entire planet. We're losing the only opportunity to do something. Because of people censoring me. Like, the industry doesn't have nothing to worry about. They just got to censor me, Kevin Blanche, and a few more of us. That's it. So they can go on and kill the planet. And they got all the useful idiots. The endless amount of useful idiots. Like in this story here, claiming